You've probably seen 10 different cans marked tongue oil, but the fact is, most of them aren't tongue oil. Usually they're mixed with varnishes, solvents, and other things you may not even know about. But today we're going to talk about pure tongue oil, and a lot of people have trouble applying it, but I'm going to show you the easiest way that I know how, never had a problem with it, applying tongue oil. Hope's 100% pure tongue oil. Tongue oil is going to give you that rich, deep, hand rub look they've been using for centuries. This board is older. I'll show you how I recoat this because it needs it. I'm also going to show you how I'm going to redo this cutting board right here. This is a walnut cutting board, 1-inch thick, big cutting board that is just beat to death, dried out. So we're going to sand this down and I'm going to show you how I recoat it. I won't bore you to death with all the sanding, but I will show you how I'm going to try to repair it and make it look new. Well, first for this old board, I'm going to just take some painter's solvent and I'm going to clean this board off even before I sand it. So I know it sounds kind of funny, but sometimes you can pull the stuff out of there. I'm just using some black super glue, making some minor repairs. There's a crack right here. I'll just sand that off. And I have a little walnut dust. So these are the items that you need for your tongue oil application. So let's get started and I'll break it down step by step. I was going to show you how to use tongue oil just on scrap wood. Cutting board need to be totally redone, so that's why we're using the cutting board. So I finished sanding it. Hello. So I went from 80 grit to 100 grit, 150 grit, and then hand sand after I popped the grain with a 200 grit. So now it's all sanded, ready to go. So we're going to use tongue oil, just a cotton rag, or you could use a brush, and then painter's solvent, mineral spirits, whatever you have to wipe down the board, which I already did. The two biggest problems people have with tongue oil is they say it never dries, it never cures. Well, I don't know how long it takes to cure, but the way I apply it, according to the directions over the years, it works just fine. It may cure in a few weeks, a few months, or a few years. But as long as you don't saturate your wood and flood it, you don't have to worry about that problem. And we'll cover the other problem as we go. Okay, all the prep work is done. Pure tongue oil right here. Kind of looks like honey. A little thinner than honey. You could use a brush or a rag. I'm going to use this cotton cloth right here. If you want to use gloves, you can. It doesn't harm my skin, but if you have sensitive skin, use gloves. Okay, the first coat, we're just going to dip this in. Be very generous. Remember, very generous. We're not going to flood it, but the first coat's going to be very generous. Okay, so the whole board, both sides, all the grooves, everywhere is covered in tongue oil, the first coat. Now, we're just going to let it sit for 1 hour, and I'll see you back in an hour. Okay, so it's been an hour. My favorite rag is just an old t-shirt. So I cut up an old t-shirt, and that's what I'm going to use. You see there's puddles here. It's soaked up here. So right now, we're just going to wipe it in. Rub it in. Wipe off all the excess off, and rub it in. It should not be oily when we're done. So let me do this real quick. The old t-shirt. Where was that? Washington. It's the next day, 15 hours later. So we're past the 12-hour mark. For this product, each product may vary a little bit different on the times for the pure tongue oil. There's a bunch of different ones that are pure tongue oil. If it doesn't say pure tongue oil, 100% pure, then it's not pure tongue oil. Let's talk about tongue oil. How it penetrates down in the fibers of the wood deep, and then once it cures with time and air, it creates a water-resistant finish and barrier, and that's what makes it special about the pure tongue oil. Remember when I said I don't know how long it takes to cure because it varies, but there's one way to check it. When you first put it on, it's oily, then it starts drying and becomes kind of tacky, and then it soaks in. And it has, once you wipe it all off, it should have a satin finish. So it's not oily anymore, it's not tacky, and now it just has that satin finish. So one way to test it is, since you're using light coats and not flooding your material, which is a problem, take a clean rag and lightly just wipe it across. I haven't done it yet. Wipe it across like this, and if something comes on the rag, well, it's pretty clean. It's real clean. So this coat is cured. So we're going to move on to the next coat. So now we're going to put on the other coat, and it's going to be the same way we did the first coat. So we're going to take our rag. I'm just going to take my rag that I had before. I said I'm going to reuse it. And that's what I'm going to do. And we're just going to put this on here. Just like this, very generously. And we're going to do the whole process all over again. Now we have our second coat on, and now we're going to wait an hour and then wipe it off. And then we'll wait another 12 hours and then wipe it off again and then do it again, because you need at least 2 to 3 coats. That'll be 3 coats. I'm probably going to put 4 coats, but I'm not going to keep you around, but I will show you the finished product after 4 coats. This board I did, I guess, a couple years ago. There's a video on it, on all the cutting boards I did. I'm just going to put another coat on this. This has 3 coats. Now it's going to have 4 coats. And that's how you could refinish your furniture. This one hasn't been really cut on. It's just used for food and cheese and crackers and stuff. But it's been washed a bunch. So, and it still looks really good. So, okay, now we finally have 4 coats of tung oil on the board. And the 4th coat did not soak up as much as the first 2. This now has 6 coats of tung oil. And I'll wipe that down and let it all rest for another 12 hours. And I'll show you the... All right, last rub down. Rub it with the grain. Rub the oil in. These oily rags are actually combustible, so do not throw these rags in the trash. Lay them out just like this. Let them air dry and then throw them away, or soak them in water and then throw them away. The second thing most people have a problem with tung oil is having patience. It took me 3 days to get 4 coats on, but you know what? You may take a week, a year, or even a day to build a project, and there's no reason to hurry it at the end. So pick your favorite oil. There's other oils out there that are natural oils like tung oil. Everything I know about natural oils, once it's fully cured, they are food safe. Oh yeah, looks good. Pretty cured. Is it fully cured? Probably not, but it's good enough to get ready to put into service. I'm still going to keep it around for a couple days before I send it back to my daughter's house. And I'm going to put some feet on the bottom like we usually do right here. It makes it better so when you're cutting on it, it's not sliding on you. If you're new to the channel, go check out the cutting board video. I'll leave it for you, and learn how to make some cutting boards. This one's fun to make. This is just cutting shapes and putting it together as a pumpkin, but you can make any shape you want. Thanks for watching.